The Kick-Off Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to the Sterling Sports Kapiti Breakfast Show with Damian on your Saturday morning. Let's talk bowls now, and let's welcome back to the show after a couple weeks absent. It's Carrell Knight. G'day, Carrell.
Yeah, hi, Damian.
How are you holding up at this time, Carrell?
Yep, no, all good. Getting a bit housebound. I need a haircut.
You and me both, Carrell. You and me both. I'm sure you've been keeping your finger on the pulse, and there's lots to update the people. So what's been happening?
Yeah, okay. There's still no bowls. There was a little item on TV the other night that was talking about the Remuera golf course, and the Remuera Bowling Club is very close, so they decided to say that bowling clubs were open as well. Well, that, Damien, is not the case. We've had clear instructions from our centre, our Bowls Kapiti Coast Centre, that to be no bowling activity. And Bowls New Zealand has actually spelled it out rather clearly. You can go down if your club allows it, and this mainly would be the winter greens because the natural greens are all virtually closed. But on those artificial greens, if your club allowed it, but you can only go down on your own, and you can only have a practice game of singles.
Wow.
So you're not allowed to use the club's jacks, and you're not allowed to use the club's mats. So I don't know how many bowlers have their own mats and jacks at home. I suppose some do. But the club ones are not to be used. The club room itself is to remain closed, so that means you can't get in to use the loo or anything like that. And, you're not allowed to use their water fountains. So they have been very specific on, if you're going down to the club, what you can actually do. So you just may as well stay home.
Wow. Yeah, you might as well. Might as well until we get that green light. So have you guys... everything changes, and especially sport, where we can't even see each other. So how have you guys adapted? How have you stayed in contact and keep the community engaged during this time?
Yeah, a lot of the clubs are telephoning, emailing, that sort of thing. I know with my club, I have a group text that I can, an SMS message that I can send out. So I'm keeping them up to date with that. I'm going to have a look because we're restricted on this, the gatherings at the moment, but most of the clubs, their AGMs and things aren't till June, July, that period, which we possibly could get together then. This is one occasion that I'm fortunate being in a smaller club because we've only got less than 30 members. And if it was a nice day in June there, we could actually gather outside, so we're not looking at the social distancing.
Right.
Big clubs would have a problem. But we could have our AGM, and I think we probably will be in alert level 2 by then, at least, and well, I hope so. And we could have our AGM. The thing is that you can't do what we're supposed to at the moment, which is advertise for nominations, call for nominations for the committees and all that sort of thing. I'm going to have a chat with my treasurer because it was our end of financial year yesterday. And we will need those records sorted out for company's office and everything because you have to send your returns in every year. So we've still got to do those things.
Yeah, behind the scenes, it's still business as usual.
Yes, it is. It is. It's just that we're not getting out on the green. And we would have been closing this coming weekend. Yep. It would have been our prize giving.
Oh, wow.
And, of course, yeah, we can't have that. We'll have an opening day and a closing day all on the same time. We'll give a prize giving on opening day.
Fair enough.
We'll sort that out.
Fair enough.
So, but it's been a bit strange, but we're keeping in touch. I'll tell you that some of the smaller clubs are going to suffer through this. A lot of them rely heavily on the funding from the pokey agencies. I know we do, and there's no pokies being used, so there's no funds going into pub charity or Southern Trust or anything like that.
No.
So there's no funds to come out.
So has there have been any talk at the moment on how you guys might counter that in the future?
No, we'll have to have a look at that, and I don't know what's going to happen there. I think up here in the Levin area we've got Eastern and Central, and I think they still have funding because they don't rely on pokey funds. So Eastern and Central may fund some projects. You've got to have, I think it's about at least 20 or 30% of the funds yourself. And they normally do projects. A lot of these other pokey ones, they will cover the wages you might be paying to your greenkeepers.
Of course.
Because I know my greenkeeper has been solid down there. He's been working. He's been complying with what they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
But our green is looking good. They're not allowed to do major renovations at the moment, but he has certainly got the fertiliser on and got it all scrimmed and redone, ready for getting the autumn growth and ready for next year. And I would say it'll be spot on with nobody annoying him, and he's had full use of the autumn growth.
Yeah.
So that green should be pretty good.
Excellent. Any indication of what level 2 might look like for you guys?
Bowls New Zealand have sent out this thing here now. Do they have it? I'll just see the print on it for us older people is a bit small. I can hardly read it. And no, they've just covered level 3. They haven't gone into level 2 as yet. But it was just all these instructions. No activity permitted at any bowling club. Yeah, just reiterating all that. Yeah. They'll probably. Oh yes, I know what came out. It came out that clubs could possibly play singles on 5 metre wide rinks. We've got to divide. At the moment, our bowling green is divided into 8 rinks of a specific width. So it will be less number of players on the green, and each rink will have to measure 5 metres minimum. Wow. So you can stand on that side, and I can stand on that side. You will be allowed to play singles and pairs. I think triples had a question mark on it. There will be no fours games because there's too many people on the one rink. But with pairs, you've got 2 at one end, 2 at the other. So you can play your pairs and you can play your singles. And looking at triples, one could be on the bank, so possibly triples. But that's all the events that will be the disciplines that will be allowed to be used initially.
Oh, well.
They have looked at a tentative calendar for program, but of course that all depends on what's happening.
Of course. Well, I really appreciate your time this morning, giving us the update for the community. The more information we get, that we will have to share. So thank you for your time. You stay safe out there, Carrell, and can't wait to catch up again soon.
Yeah, I certainly will. Yeah, and I do notice comments on some of the players' Facebook's sites. Just things like, "Can't we get back to bowls yet?"
Absolutely.
But ever hopeful, and it will come.
It will indeed. Well, thank you again for your time, and we'll catch up soon.
Okay, Damian, thanks.